That's funny. Joining us now.
All right, we got
joining us now.
The Democratic whip of the House.
What a lead-in.
Congressman Steny Hoyer of Maryland. Steny, it is so good to talk to you. There appears to be some question on whether the Democrats won yesterday's budget extension or the Republicans did. Is it just possible that maybe America won? That we worked together and didn't have a government shutdown.
Amen.
I was Joe, you took the words out of my mouth. I don't think it's whether Democrats or Republicans won. The process won. The Congress performed as it should. We had a meeting of the leadership and the appropriators. They came to an agreement. Obviously, as you well know, in the legislative process, you win some, you lose some. Everybody didn't get everything they wanted. That doesn't happen. But I think you're right. I think the American people won. I think the Congress won. The process won. And we didn't have chaos. And that was a good win. And I think today we'll pass this agreement handily with hopefully both sides providing a majority of their votes. So I think you're right. I think the American people won.
That's fantastic. Let's. We have a headline. The GOP health bill is on shaky ground. Is that what you're hearing in Congress right now?
Joe, all I can tell you is, the vice president has an office at the end of the hall that he and I share. And all I saw yesterday was members parading into the office, I'm sure being coached. Trying to be convinced that the bill that they've put forward is a good bill, but I don't think they're there. I'm not sure they're going to get there. Frankly, Joe, as you well know, and everybody on the set knows, they had a slogan, repeal, but they didn't have a solution. And the problem they've been trying to do since the election is to try to find a solution to what they've been talking about for 6 years, and they haven't found it. In fact, they made the bill worse. And I think what's happened is millions of Americans like Jimmy Kimmel started thinking about what does it mean to repeal the Affordable Care Act? What does it mean to me? What does it mean to my family? I think Jimmy Kimmel just captured the personal consequences of repeal. And Billy Long from Missouri, a conservative Republican, said, look, one of the good things in the Affordable Care Act was pre-existing conditions, and now they've undermined that. Every medical association indicates that. Every consumer group says that.
And you actually even have members of the Republican Party, Willie, that are saying there is no guarantee.
That was Billy Long's statement. Again, a conservative Republican from a conservative state.
I think Ileana Ross-Layton also said it. There is no guarantee of pre-existing injuries are being covered in here, despite the fact the leadership is saying that is the case. And Willie Geist here has a question.
And the President of the United States said that in an interview, that pre-existing conditions will be taken care of, and they're not. Your best guest here, Congressman, after all this roiling over the last 3 months about repeal and replace, after all the talk of almost 2 years of presidential campaigning about getting rid of Obamacare, at the end of the day, when all this dust settled, are we left exactly where we were, say, a year ago? Does Obamacare remain in place as it is?
I think the Affordable Care Act is going to be largely whole. Now, Willie, we have said all along, look, the Affordable Care Act is not a perfect piece of legislation that cannot be improved. We have a problem certainly in the individual market, which is about 6%. Premiums are too high. There are other instances where there are not enough options available to people. We ought to be working in a constructive way, cooperative way, like frankly we're going to do today on the appropriations process, the Omnibus. We ought to be working in that vein to make the Affordable Care Act work better. And to the extent that there are constructive criticisms of that bill, we ought to address them. But that's not what the Republicans have been doing, and hopefully we will go to that place.
Steny Harold Ford, good morning.
Hi, Harold.
The president, on his way out, said, President Obama, that building on Willie's question, that some sort of public option should be a part of the Affordable Care Act. One, do you see Democrats moving in a direction after this hoopla over the AHCA dies down? And two, has there been any talk from Republicans in wanting to support something like that to address some of the challenges and shortfalls of the ACA?
Harold, as you know, the public option was in the House bill. But as you also know, because the Republicans thought they could defeat the Affordable Care Act by not going to conference in the Senate, we couldn't get the 60 votes to go to conference, so we took the Senate bill, which did not have a public option, and therefore you don't have a sort of a fallback when other insurance companies withdraw from the system that the Republicans have been criticizing. I think it's a legitimate issue that's been raised we need to deal with. Now, let me say, no Republican has talked to me specifically about going to a public option. But what many Republicans, I won't say, 100, but a significant number of Republicans have said to me privately, look, we really need to address repairing the Affordable Care Act, fixing those items where it's not working as well as we want it to work, and keeping those which, as pre-existing conditions, we all want, are the 26-year-old or the lifetime and annual limits being eliminated. Clearly, I think there are a number of Republicans who understand, look, let's fix this thing, let's make it work right, take some of our ideas, some of your ideas, and make it a better bill.
All right, Congressman Steny Hoyer, thank you very much.
You bet.
Thank you, Steny.
Thanks a lot.
And in just 15 minutes, Senator Elizabeth